Hey guys, so today I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I asked on Instagram what videos you would like to see, and I got some really good responses. So this first video, I'm going to go over one of my favorite responses that I got, which was Tori on Instagram. She wanted to know how I deal with, or how to deal with, jealousy and insecurity. And I'm gonna direct this kind of towards INFJs and specifically, and you may find this helpful as well, or I don't even know if this really will be advice, but kind of maybe my experience. And I think there's different parts of this. I think there's all types of jealousy and insecurity. So I'm just gonna jump into it, and I'm gonna actually link her Instagram account below if you want to follow her or check her Instagram out. So anyways, I for the most part am not a jealous person, and I don't tend to be very insecure, but this is something that I've had to kind of build up over time, because I don't think anybody is kind of born without jealousy or insecurity, unless you're like, again, like maybe you have some type of disorder or something where you don't feel those emotions. But for me, I think it's kind of human nature to feel jealous or insecure at some point in your life. And I think starting off, I have a younger sister. She's been on my channel. I interviewed her. She's also in 2 other videos, but her name's Anna, and she's 2 years younger than me. So growing up with her, it was kind of like we were kind of together all the time, so I know on both sides there was kind of some jealousy towards one another, but I think that's kind of common with siblings, and I don't know if jealousy and insecurity is individualized by personality type. It probably is. For me, I kind of always felt like a bit of a black sheep. And I think in a way my sister did as well, because we were very different than our parents. And like my sister's always been more alternative, whereas I've been kind of a very like goody two-shoes type of person, which is kind of similar to my dad. But anyways, so I guess for me, like when I was younger, especially before like I went through puberty and stuff, I was kind of always a very skinny child. I still am considered skinny, but skinny and kind of tall, and I still have auburn hair, so you can't really tell in my videos that much because it only happens when the sun really hits it, but my hair's auburn, so it has a bit of red in it. And so I used to be very upset when people would call me a redhead, which is funny because I'll probably tone my hair a little bit redder just because I think that would be interesting. I did that last year, and toner is just a temporary dye, so it doesn't stay in your hair, but that's kind of beside the point. So I kind of was jealous of other children in a sense, or just insecure about the way I looked. And my mom would always tell me, you're an adult beauty, you're an adult beauty, you're an adult beauty, and people will understand that when you get older. And I think she was right, because I've kind of always looked the same. But as a child, it was different because there's definitely some like preferable looks out there, especially for women. And I also think that there's something to be said about girls specifically with jealousy or insecurity, because we're kind of like, our looks are kind of promoted more so than guys. And this is a general statement. There are some guys that experience this as well, but I think as women we're kind of told you need to look good, you need to look a certain way, you need to be curvier, which of course, I guess you guys haven't really seen me too much like full body, but if you know me in real life, you'll know this. Like, I'm just like a tall, skinny girl that does not, or woman that doesn't really have too many curves. So that was kind of something that I had to accept about myself. And the way that I've kind of accepted myself in that regard is I just had to, really getting into personal development has helped me kind of transform the way I thought about things. And also when we're talking about relationships specifically, so the guy that I'm dating, or my boyfriend, he is also an INFJ, and he is actually, right now, he's the biggest INFJ on YouTube that I know of. So that being said, he has a pretty large channel on YouTube. So a lot of people, men and women, mostly women, comment on his videos, and we're kind of just now like letting people know that we're dating more publicly, like our family and friends know. But anyways, it's interesting because we were dating for a little while before like became more official. And so I've seen like on his channel numerous people say, oh, I love you, like I want to be with you, all this stuff. And I think a lot of people would get jealous by that, but I just feel secure in myself that I don't really worry about those kind of things. And I trust him, and I don't think that like he's the type of person, we talk all the time, so I don't think it would be ever an issue. And I know that like some guys that I've dated, they've been cheated on, and I think that can be kind of a hard like pitfall or that can be very hard to get over a situation like that when you have been cheated on and there is infidelity. But as far as I know, he's never been cheated on, and I've never been cheated on, so we don't really have that mentality in mind in general. But I do know people that have, and so I can understand why there could be insecurity and jealousy in a relationship, because I've seen it firsthand where I've dated guys. I dated one guy in particular that would look through my stuff when I wasn't, either there or wasn't aware of it. And that's kind of something that is not okay for me, because I think there has to be a mutual trust and respect in a relationship. And I think this also goes for friendship, because going back to kind of how you look and stuff, and I can only really speak for females, but I have had situations where people have disliked me because of the way I look, and it's unfortunate that it has to be that way. But I think the best way for people to get over that is to realize that maybe you get jealous easily or insecure about the way you look, and so you have to take it out on other people, or dislike people just because you find you know that they're maybe seen as attractive. And like I said, I have a lot of girlfriends, I also have a lot of guy friends, so it's never really been an issue to like make friends necessarily. But I can see with a lot of women, and I would say it's probably similar for guys as well, when you're seen as attractive, the same gender, or maybe even the opposite gender, but it's typically the same gender, may be jealous of you just because of how you look. And with INFJs and jealousy or insecurity, I think because we lead with NI, we also have extra feeling as our creative function, our secondary function. That can be pretty interesting because we do see patterns within people, and we also can feel the feelings of other people. So for example, I kind of know when people don't like me when they meet me, and it's nothing really that I've done, but it's just like, even before I actually meet them, I can feel how they may not like me because of something on the exterior. And that's unfortunate, but all you can do is change yourself and the way you think about things. So you have to build security within yourself, because if you just have an inflated ego, or if you have a false confidence about you, because like a lot of people say fake it till you make it, I do think that that's good to a degree, but you have to work on yourself individually. And for me, and it's different for other people, but I would say specifically for INFJs, if you're jealous or insecure, is working on things by yourself, and maybe even talking to a therapist or a counselor about your issues. And if you have further issues than that you need to maybe take medication, then seek a professional, because at the end of the day, I can only give advice, but I'm not a professional by any means, at least on this subject, because I did not go to school for this, and I don't have a degree in psychology. But from what I do know, and what's worked for myself, is studying personal development and instilling like a true confidence within myself, rather than have a false ego or a false sense of confidence that I see many people have. Because like I said, it's not even just about jealousy or insecurity. I can kind of see through, and I think a lot of INFJs in general, and there are other types that are more likely to do this as well, they can see through when someone has like a fake sense of confidence or something about them. And when you're like that, you're very vulnerable to other people. And I've even seen it where people that are jealous or insecure within themselves, they can be easily manipulated and kind of told to do certain things. Like, for example, when you're younger, specifically about females, like I have seen many girls growing up who did things with guys because they felt insecure about themselves, that they did things with guys that they were not ready or mature enough to do at the time. And that kind of really messed them up to a certain degree. And a lot of people, it took them many years, or they may still be struggling with those kind of things. I think when you have true confidence within yourself and you are truly secure, you're able to deal with a lot more things, especially like on the internet, because a lot of people that, you know, interact with you on the internet don't know you in your personal life. Going back to my boyfriend, which I know he's watching it, he has a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there are people that troll his comments, and there's also, you know, people that don't know him and just have kind of a false image of who he is. And it's the same for me, but on a smaller scale. And that can, I know this kind of happens on social media in general, as people see, and this can tie into jealousy as well, people see on Instagram or on Facebook this kind of false perception of somebody, and people want to create a story about you that fits their narrative, and you can't let people like that affect you, both positive and negative, because at the end of the day, you should be your biggest advocate. Even in my relationship, I will be there for my boyfriend, but at the end of the day, he has to be there for himself. So if you're in a relationship and you kind of are both depending on one another, I wouldn't say it's the most healthy relationship. I think a healthy relationship stems from two individual people coming together that creates something better than what they would create by themselves, but they also are secure with themselves. And I don't think, you know, I'm perfect and he's not perfect either. And this goes for anybody. And we're always wanting to improve and change, but at the end of the day, you have to be secure with yourself, because it will affect your friendships, it will affect your relationships, it will affect family relations, job, anything. All of those things being insecure or being jealous will have an adverse effect on all of those the biggest things in your life. So I think it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself is to invest in yourself, love yourself truly, and do those things that you need to do, whatever that looks like for you. And for INFJs, like I said, it's kind of more maybe an individual thing. Maybe you need to talk to a specialist or someone that you trust. But at the end of the day, as far as other types or even other INFJs go, do what's best for you to get to that point where you feel more secure with yourself and you don't have that sense of jealousy. And if you've had situations where people have cheated on you in relationships or done some really I've definitely had people backstab me in the past that I thought were friends of mine, and I think a lot of people go through similar things. Maybe you should kind of seek an outside person that is a professional to kind of help you through those things, because I can't imagine being cheated on. I can't imagine how that must feel, but I know that doesn't feel good. So hopefully this video was helpful for anybody. And again, I'll have Tori's Instagram account linked in the description. I am so thankful for your response to my question, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, fantastic week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.